So hi, welcome to Good Noise Podcast here with Megan from Dollskin. We're going to ask them some questions today. I'm going to start. So what inspired the creation of the band, and can you tell me what the band name means?
So the creation of the band, well, I was like a junior in high school and I was in this program, this after school program called School of Rock. And I had just met the girls like through that program and like had just moved to this new high school and I was like the new girl and like no one really knew who I was and there was this battle of the bands. So I like, recruited all the girls and we did like the battle of the bands and we won first place and it kind of
Oh
just like
wow.
yeah, it was like I don't know. They make it a big deal at the high school that I'm at. They like go all out with like lights and like sound, and it's like a big part of the music program. And there's like 15 bands, and we won, so that was crazy.
Wow.
But and then the name Dollskin, I feel like is just such a boring story because the day before we were going to participate in like the Battle of the Bands show, like the big show, we were like literally like we don't have a band name. Like
Yeah.
we're a band, but we don't have like a band name. So we wanted something that was just like, cute but creepy, but kind of feminine, but also kind of like weird. And we had doll. We knew we wanted doll, but then we were like, what part of the body?
hmm
Like it was like someone said skin. No one really knows who said skin, but it was said, and so we're like, all right, that's it. So
And
we just
then
kind of have it really quickly.
it just stuck.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Interesting.
Doll
Yeah.
tongue would have been interesting.
Yeah, I think
I
people
agree.
like you. Like skin is already like you, but
Yeah.
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 All right.
Okay. Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Congrats on your newest release, Love is Dead and We Killed Her.
Thank
How do
you.
you feel about the response to it so far?
I think I don't know. It's kind of blown our minds because that was our first release on our new record label, Hopeless, and that really helped kind of get it out to a bigger audience. And as soon as we dropped that record, we were touring hard. So I don't know. I feel like the response has been really positive, and I'm glad that it's positive.
Yeah.
People can hate it; it's cool, but like we're happy that people are just like, "Oh, this is a big step up for you guys," and like especially our fans that have been with us from the beginning. They're like, "Oh, this is a really big, like it shows you guys' growth," and
Yeah.
it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool.
So you brought up Hopeless. Can you tell me how you got signed to them? If there's any story behind that?
Yeah. So we played the full last summer of Warped Tour in 2018, and our manager would come out to like a few of our shows every now and then because his tours would like cross with ours because he's in a band called Megadeth,
Oh.
and he like we would just meet up,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
so basically the A&R, one of the A&R reps from Hopeless, his name is Tobin, and he would go to Warped Tour shows to see the bands that he signed, that are on Hopeless, and he's caught us like basically a few times, and he was interested, so he hit up our manager and was just like, "Hey, what's the deal?" Like, and at the time we were signed to our manager's label that he made for us to be on a label. It's called EMP Record Label, and David was just like, and that's our manager's name is David. He was just like, well, Hopeless is much more fitting for you guys as a group versus the bands that I have on my label. So basically, we did like a little trade off,
Okay.
hmm
and yeah, it was really cool. And Tobin fought for us, and it was just like this magical thing that just happened, and it's like this kind of fairy tale for us because like there's not a lot of bands that like the A&R rep notices us and we're just like, oh my gosh, like that, this band has something or something, whatever. But it happened so magically and easily. So yeah.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
that's
Yeah.
so cool. Yeah.
And then you also mentioned you were on that last year of Warped Tour. Can you tell me what that experience is like?
Yeah, it was hot. That's
Yeah.
the first
Yeah.
one. I lived 2 months outside, and let me tell you, never again. But in that context, of course, I would do it again. Like, you basically it's summer camp. It's band camp. That's what all the bands would say. Like, because we would play our shows, you get your workout in from playing the show, and then like doing all the gear stuff and merch stuff, and then later at night, everyone has like the barbecue, or all the bands can mingle.
Mhm.
So
Oh.
everyone was making friends like during the whole thing and sharing this big crazy experience together, and every single day like our lines would just get longer and longer, and I thought that was really cool to watch because we would be like under our merch tent, like signing stuff for like hours, and it was amazing. Like it's all I ever want to do. And I think Warped Tour, and we've been on 2 summers, but that summer specifically, like really like launched us, I feel. So yeah, we loved it.
All right.
That's so cool.
I love that. So can you tell me a little bit about your writing process and how it's evolved from your first release to now?
Our first writing process, I feel like when you are starting a band and you're like, let's make a record, the ideas are coming out super fast. Everyone's really excited. And not that we're not excited anymore, but like you're just like, this is the first record. So you have all these ideas and you're finding out who you are. Second record is relatively the same thing. You're like, okay, first record was like cool, we can make the second one even better. So you still have all those ideas. Third record was a totally different process for us because we were writing, but we decided to go to Big Bear with our producer, which we never worked with a producer, like we never wrote with a producer before. And so we spent a month in Big Bear in California, and we wrote up in that cabin for a while. We were snowed in, so basically we went like kind of stir crazy for a while, but it's good because while you're writing a record, like you kind of want to go stir crazy because you're forced to put ideas out. And then we spent another month just in LA, just writing with our producer, and it was a totally different experience, but like we're so happy we had it because we are really happy with the outcome.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. Okay.
Yeah.
So where was your headspace while creating Love Is Dead and We Killed Her? I love that name so much. It's so cool.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Our headspace, geez. I think, 1 year up in like this cabin, it's in California, like, yeah, but it was we felt like secluded because it just like snowed in, and it's this old cabin, and there's an aura and like an atmosphere and everything. We're just like, okay, a lot of us, I feel like there was a lot of production in like the way we got things done really fast, but also in the way that we were like, oh my gosh, we're overthinking everything because we knew that this record was going to be on Hopeless. So we knew that we wanted it to be good and not like subpar, So I think that was in all of our heads. We were like, oh my gosh, like this has to be a good record. But as the time went on and we were able to just like spend time with it and sit with the songs and revisit them again, we were like, okay, well, geez, like we're really proud of what we did. So yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So what band or artist influences do you think you can hear the most on this new record?
Oh my gosh, it's a great question. When it comes to us, we are so all over the place in influence because we all draw from different artists like as singular people. Like, for me, like I'm everywhere, like, I love all genres, any genres, but Alex in particular is a very like, she loves metal, she loves heavier stuff and like really heavy stuff, and then Nicole loves just like indie, and Sydney loves heavy, and also like I feel like she's the balance between everyone. So this record is so all over the place, honestly. If I could pinpoint one, I honestly don't think I can.
That's fair.
That's always a good
thing.
Because
you take songs, and there's some songs on the record. There's one that's like "Mark My Words," where we feel it's just what the definition of like evolved Dollskin 2.0 is. And you take No Fear, and that's a little bit more like along the indie kind of cuter, more sparkly vibes. That's the only thing that I can give you right now.
Okay.
Like, I don't think we had really too many bands that were like, we want to sound like them. For Love Is Dead. But as for like Manic Pixie and In Your Face, we were like Dead Sarah, Paramore, like Led Zeppelin, just like weird mixes of stuff. So
it's worked out. So
yeah, you sound like Dollskin.
Well, I know you said that's what we want to do.
Yeah, that's so cool. Okay. So what made you choose the name for the album, and is there any meaning behind the cover art?
So the name for the album, I'm going to say Nicole came up with it. I might be corrected on that, but it was like an inside joke that we were saying. Like in the past 2 records, I'm like basically I was the main lyricist for it. Sydney wrote like a handful of songs, but I oversee everything, or most of the time I just write the lyrics like word by word. And a lot of that was just like stuff, me going through like relationship stuff, and like I was in my head about it. And so we were like, we came into the third record and the girls were just like, no more boy songs. Love is dead, we killed her. Like, like we're just like, we don't want anything that has to do with like, I guess, glorifying a person or a relationship or something like that, because I'd written about that a lot. And at first I was just like, why not? Like, and then now, like, I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, I'm so glad that they told me not to write about boys, because it forced me to go into a way different, more creative space. And same with Sydney too. Like, she started to come into like her writing role, and that was cool. So, and then we also went to more personal, deeper spaces of ourselves. When we were writing lyrics, like Sydney, went into like addiction issues, and me, I went to like abandonment issues, and it's just like all that deeper stuff. Album art. I think, okay, so when we were in the cabin, we would go to bed, and in the morning we would wake up, we'd be like, oh my gosh, there's like basically rat poop inside the drawers that we would like crawl around in this place. We're like, we don't know if it's mice or if it's rats, but like we keep finding this, and we're like, we should probably get this checked out in this.
Yeah.
But that's where the rats came from, because they would leave presents for us when we were writing. We'd be like, and we hear them in the ceilings, and we'd be like, are you guys just like watching us record this record? Because it's so crazy. But that's where the rats came from. But in the color choices specifically, we were like, Quentin Tarantino, kind of colors and everything, because lots of the songs pertain to like strong women characters in movies. So yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
That's so cool. Yeah. Okay.
So is there a song that took the longest to write, and do you have a favorite off of the record?
The song that took the longest to write was Don't Cross My Path. That song took a while because it was one of our heavier songs. We'd never been that heavy as terms of like, we have a song called Persephone. That one's pretty heavy for us. But Don't Cross My Path was like, we were trying to make it kind of like an epic, there was like an intro that we were like, ooh, we haven't really done something like this before. There's piano and, other stuff like that. And so, in terms to like writing in parts, that song took a while. And what was your second question?
Favorite track off of the record for you?
For me, I would probably say Mark My Words, I think so. But in terms of just like the drumming, the parts on that song, live, I just like, it's so much fun. Like, I just feel like it's so easy, to play that song live. And it also kind of showcases how I can push myself and what I can do. And, writing that was like really fun, and tracking it was even more fun because it was a challenge. But I mean, it's not even that tough of like a song to play, but still, like, I wanted to get it like exactly how I had it written. And yeah, that was really fun.
Okay, sick. Is there a certain feeling you want your listeners to have while going through the album?
Certain feeling. I think we always want to emit a sense of just like community. That is something I feel like is very important when you're like in a fan base. I feel like there's a difference between like liking a band and listening to a band a lot and like being in a fan base, like kind of community style. And for me, like growing up, I was super, super into My Chemical Romance, and I found a community through that. Like I've known so many people, I gained so many friends from liking that band, and I think that's a really cool atmosphere to have. And with us, like we have street team members that have gone out of their way to make Discord chats, and like there's like at least 700 members on it, and kids from all over the world are just talking and bonding through just like even liking just like a handful of our songs. We'll just go onto the Discord and like meet all these people, and we feel like that's a good, we just want to like bring community, and also power to being young and still feeling like you can kick ass in the music industry, and especially pertaining to women or non-binary people. So yeah, that's kind of a goal for us.
All right, I love that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So do you guys have any new projects in the works that you can tell us about?
Yeah, we've been working on our new record for a long time now. 2 months ago, we spent like an entire month in LA, just writing with different producers in a socially distant setting. And we just wanted to see who we clicked with for this record because we didn't really have a general direction, and we wanted to pin something down. And so yeah, what I can say is that we are releasing a new song at the end of the year. The only thing is we are trying to pick between 3 of what we want it to be, and we can't decide. So
why not just release all 3 of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could just go like bang, bang, bang. But like,
exactly.
I know at the same time we're just like, oh, we have to do a music video for each one, and like, I don't know. We want to get creative with it and have it not just be like a normal release structure, and kind of do some different stuff for our fans. But as of now, I think it's a good thing that we're just like, oh my gosh, we have 3 that we can't pick from. And we are going to release 3 like before the record. But it's just seeing which one is first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So they'll all come out at some point. It's just a matter of which ones come out first. All right.
Yeah. Which one's going to make the best like introduction to the new era?
Yeah. And that's really hard to like pinpoint because these 3 songs are very different in vibe, I guess. And we're like, oh my gosh, like the first one's gonna, like determine what this whole new thing is gonna be like. But I feel like for me personally, I want to urge people to be like, okay, this one song, it's kind of like when the 1975 released like People, like that's not what the new record sounded like. They had that heavy song-ish for them, and it's not what that record sounded like.
No, not at all.
So it's like if I could compare, like it's like, Paramore self-titled, where each of the songs were like a different genre. And so, like, so I wouldn't like ask anyone to define our single as what the record would sound like because that would be crazy.
Okay. Wait, so is the album finished?
It's pretty close to being done. We're writing a few more for backup because we kind of want to like spam the record with songs. But, but as of now, we are moving into the tracking process and then like backup track process where we're writing more songs, just like be like, oh wow, like why aren't we including this, and then we're finishing things up and going into production. And yeah, so the demoing process right now is done.
Okay, sick. So since shows can't be played right now, how are you trying to connect with your fans online, like live stream shows, Q&As?
It's like so tough because we're in a position right now where we can't do live stream shows, and that's just like a thing that we're kind of like going through as a band, but and it's what we want to do. But basically we've been taking every opportunity to do press and do live stream stuff where it's like acoustic and stuff like that. We just did like a kind of charity all female live stream related thing that was from Share a Girl, and she did that. It was really cool. But most of the time we're trying to get creative. Like for a while we were working on this project that was just like Dulskin quarantine version, like this is what we do when we're at home. Woo! And like we're still kind of like developing those videos and kind of keep that project going and uploading stuff to YouTube. And it's tough because we can't like release our music yet because it's not done. So we're kind of waiting until that's perfected, and also keeping up on the community, the Discord that we have. It's tough because you're not giving people a chance to come and see you in person, and we all are missing touring very much. I'm sure everyone else is too, but we have to get creative, and it forces bands to like think out of the box and then get out of their comfort zone. And a band I think that did that really well, I'm going to say it again, it's My Chemical Romance. They especially before quarantine, the way that they would promote their records was very smart, and I take a lot of inspiration from them. So
okay. Very cool. So speaking of live music, you guys were on tour right as everything began to close. What was that like, knowing that the tour could end like literally any day?
It was I've never experienced anything like what that was. Like, we were touring and we had been like a week and a half in, and we were already feeling like this is getting bad, and should we be doing this? Because literally we were in upstate New York. We live in Arizona. So we were just like, man, we were doing our headlining tour, and then we were going to go hop on tour with Anti-Flag, and then we were going to go finish it out with a headlining route on the way back. And we were just like, do we just cancel the whole thing? So we were kind of waiting to see what Anti-Flag was doing, and Anti-Flag canceled everything. So like we were about to hop on our first date with them, and they literally sent us an email like as we were driving into Canada. We were about to drive into Canada, and they were like, hey, we're just postponing. Like we got to go home. Like we can't, you know. And we're like, oh man, our first show with Anti-Flag, yeah, you know, but. Basically, if we would have driven into Canada, and you know everything would, you know, basically around that same time, everything was getting announced of how crazy things were, and lockdowns were starting, and quarantines were starting. We would have been stuck. Like we would have been stuck in Canada, which is not a bad thing, but basically we were like right outside the border, like 15 minutes away from the border.
Wow!
And so we turned right back around and drove from upstate New York to Arizona. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Wow, so you were this close to being like stuck in a different. Wow.
Yeah. There's this band that we were friends with. They're called Between You and Me, and they got stuck in Canada. I think Canada, might have been Canada. Yeah, but they got stuck. So, but they wrote a record, so it was cool.
Oh yeah, I mean that's
glad,
the way to do it.
Yeah, glad you guys didn't get stuck. So when live shows were a thing, what were your top 3 songs to perform?
For me personally, number 1 is Punch a Nazi, just because like I feel like that's the root of what the band is. We're just a bunch of punk obsessed people, and then probably Mark My Words, and then third, oh man, probably Don't Cross My Path, because that song is just pure live energy. Like I feel like that song goes over arguably better live than on the record. Just because it's like so much fun. We all like to kind of just lose our minds to that song. So, yeah.
Okay. So where do you see the band in the next 5 years?
Oh, you know, I used to like have like a good solid answer for that before quarantine. But now, like, it is so hard to tell because everything is so up in the air, and we're planning for tours next year that we don't even know if we're doing. Like, you know, like we are, you know, we just announced that we're, you know, still on Slam Dunk, you know, in May in the UK. But as of that, we're like, is that even going to happen? Like, are we even going to be allowed back? You know, because there's still like a travel ban, you know?
Yeah.
And it's sad because last night I had a dream that like the travel ban was lifted and I was in the UK, and I was like, yeah! But then I woke up and I was like, no. But yeah, so honestly, like, the only thing is I can say is like just take it like we're taking it tour by tour, album by album, day by day at this point, because it's still our business, it's still our baby. But I've had to get a second job, you know, because of you know everything closing down, which is like it's like fine, like people have second jobs, but for me, like my full-time business was Dullskin. I was gone all the time, you know, and so me and my second job, like my little donut shop job, like it's fine, it's fun, but it's just really showing like how things are going for us. And you know, we're working hard every day and still keeping this business in mind, and it's our top priority, but at the same time we're like, man, well, we have to make money, you know. Like, so it's a balance. But hopefully in 5 years, I would say playing like Glastonbury when things are normal and people could be in the stage space. I hate when people are just like, nothing's gonna be normal again, which they're probably right, but for me, I'm just like, oh my god,
we need the normal back. We need it. Yeah.
Like my show is like, it's just a matter of the United States putting a mask on. I think that's the catalyst whole thing.
Yeah. Get our shit together.
Yeah.
Exactly. Come on, guys.
Yeah, come on.
So you've been posting drum covers on social media since quarantine started. What inspired you to start doing that?
Oh my gosh, that time, I think that was like around March or April. I was kind of just like grappling with the state of everything and how isolated I felt in myself, and I was just like, I have to be doing something with my time, because I couldn't work, you know, like I work at the School of Rock, and they were shut down for quite a while and didn't know when they were coming back, so I was just like, well, I have to be doing something with my time. And I've never actually sat down and made myself progress each day with my playing, like my own playing as a musician. And I was just like, well, I'm just going to play these songs that I feel like I wanted to play, and then post little miniature drum covers and see how it goes. And I think that's super cool that you guys all of them because it makes me feel like, I'm actually like doing them, people are seeing this, and and I was actually, I'm planning on doing just more little tiny snippets, and yeah, it's really fun.
All right, cool. Looking forward to those. So for the last couple questions, we're going to shift away from music and go straight to death row. So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
With a drink. Okay.
With a drink.
That's a great question. Okay. It would probably be... Automatically, my brain goes to something. It has to be something like really spicy to the point where I can't almost handle it. So it would probably be like a huge bucket of like wings, but like really spicy buffalo wings. With, this is gonna sound really weird, with sushi on the side because it's my favorite.
Okay.
And then maybe dark chocolate on the side as a dessert. My drink would be, because I want to say Dr. Pepper, but then I also want to say like a matcha green iced tea.
Ooh.
About just both.
Why not both? That'd be like probably really weird to put together. But like, just we'll do some experimentation. But I feel like I'd want to have both.
Yeah, I mean, you won't have to pay the consequences the next day, so why not experiment?
Oh, you're right.
Exactly.
I won't have to pay any consequences. Like, that would be horrible for my digestive system. Yeah.
Just a little bit. Hey, but it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So, if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
Fictional world?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I would probably say, I don't know if this is said a lot, but probably Hogwarts.
Ooh, yes. Yeah,
like I feel like that would be, but like with all the characters there, so I could be like, follow them around and be like, hi, I love you. You have no idea who I am, but I grew up watching your movies, and my sister like read all of your books and watched, and she's way farther in the book department than I am, but I feel like that'd be super cool because then also I can like learn spells. And yeah, I think that'd be another thing to add to my little repertoire. I'd be like, she's a drummer, also she's a wizard. It's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Double trouble. Wait.
Yeah.
What's your Hogwarts house?
I think in my heart is Hufflepuff because I'm such a like, I feel like I'm a small, like, good person, but not very non-confrontational, and I say that because I want to be Slytherin very badly, but in my heart, like, I feel like if I was placed up there and the Sorting Hat would be on my head, I'd be like, Hufflepuff, I'd be like, you know what, you're right, I'm not going to argue with you, like,
you're right.
You're totally right. My sister is just like, I'm Ravenclaw through and through, and I think it's so funny how there's 4 different houses that can define people so accurately. Like, it's totally awesome.
Yeah. All right. So I have the honor of asking the last question, and every single person we've spoken to have said it's the most important question. What is your favorite color?
My favorite color? I feel like it changes, but I am going to be non-shocking and say red because of my hair. But I think it's been like such a cool standout thing for our album, for Love Is Dead, and like the red has been a really cool pop of color, and it's also given us kind of like a cool thing to base around for like outfits and stuff. But also I feel like as a person, I don't ever not want to be like red or have some sort of red in my hair. Like, I'm a natural blonde and it just doesn't fit me. Like, I would much rather just like have my red and feel like myself than go back to my natural color and just be like, this isn't right. Like, I have to say it's red. Yeah.
Red.
Very cool.
Good color.
So as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything you'd like to plug?
I've been saying this during interviews lately to hold myself accountable, but I am writing a poetry book. I'm not quite sure when I'm planning on having it out, but I want to have it out at least by the middle of next year. And it's going to be a whole new project for me because I've never done anything like it, but I've been working on it for at least like this entire year, and then maybe, I think, a lot of last year too. But yeah, it's been a long process and I'm excited about it. As for the band, we're going to have a song out at the end of the year. Don't know what it is, but we do have an album name and we do have an album cover roughly. So yeah.
All right. Okay. All very exciting.
Can you drop the album name?
I wish I could.
Goddamn labels.
I wish I could because like we have it, but like I'm not even sure if the label really knows what it is. So like we have it, and it's basically our working title right now. And if I
Okay.
said it, and then for like some crazy reason we decided to change it, I'd be like, man, I tell these people that they're like different, But
Yeah.
I wish I could, but I actually think it's a great title. But you guys will
Okay.
see.
All
Yeah.
right.
All right.
Well, thank you for sitting down with us. This has been Megan from Dollskin, and we're the Good Noise Podcast.